Henley clearly had the better solo career, and Joe Walsh arguably is up there with, but Glenn Fry didn't have any. He didn't have any bad. He didn't have a bad run. The heat is on. You belong to the city.
Oh, dude, I got when the new Beverly Hills Cop came out. That was the only reason why that got me into the movie.
Into
When the heat is on.
Have you watched the new one already come out?
Yeah,
I have to watch it. Look, the third one was so bad. Is it okay?
yeah, it's cool. It's like
Coming to America, the sequel Coming to
oh,
America was awful. People should be ashamed
I
of
don't
them.
think they let some of the people act anymore that were in that movie. I heard
Well, Wesley
like
Snipes
like
was in Deadpool Wolverine.
I don't even think they could even like subscribe to like Netflix anymore. They're not
What
they're not allowed.
Was James Earl Jones in that movie? Yeah, he was. He had like a brief thing. He's old now. You know what bugged
Yeah.
me? You know what I found out that bugged me is that Disney paid him because they're milking Star Wars for all they can get. They paid him to do a bunch of voiceover work, and he signed off his voice with AI, so they
I
can
thought you were
just.
gonna say they paid him to say every word ever.
God,
Sibilance.
he's
Siphon.
yeah, he just read exactly all the way through the dictionary.
Hello.
He's
I'm
like,
just
I've
doing a
only
different
got
voice every
so
time.
much time in my life. Why
Oh,
must
that
there
was
be?
good. Holy shit.
I can do a couple impressions. Use the force. Oh, he
Hey,
does.
can you
Well, he's
say Simba, this will all be yours someday?
Simba. This will all be yours.
Someday.
Why'd they remake that movie? Did you see
What do
that?
you mean?
I heard they were
The
meet. Are they doing live action Moana?
hold on, you just fucking you just hit three different okay.
There's
Back
a
up,
lot of
dude.
things we got
So
to
they
talk
did
about,
a Lion King live action one,
and they're gonna do a sequel to it, which is
which
odd.
was cool, and then they just made a sequel. It's not a sequel, it's like a prequel. It's when Mufasa was a little cub himself.
They're gonna do
It's
what?
probably the origin story of when Scar turned bad too. Or I bet you they're gonna show how he got his scar.
Oh. Those are some dumb ideas. Did you ever, you know why Disney and Robin Williams is mad at Disney? Did you ever hear that story?
Oh, why?
Because he is Robin Williams and he's just throwing lines. So they took all the scraps from the Aladdin movie and they were like, you know what? Let's make a sequel and we'll just use Genie's leftovers. And he's like, what the fuck? Like you can't do that. And they just made a
Oh
whole new sequel.
yeah.
They just did a whole sequel without him and just compensated him. But he was like, that's not cool. And
Oh,
there's
you know what's funny is like he stole so many jokes from people, and he would just give people checks. Who like if you came up to him, Vic, if you went up to Robin Williams 20 years ago and said, "Hey, that was my joke about FIFA on your special," he would have cut you off and just hand you a check
is that really what he
and
did?
been like, "Sorry, yeah."
At least he was like he wasn't being a jerk about it. He was just like, look, I did it. Here's money.
I think I never thought that's what when like Rogan was talking bad about him. I never thought it was like malicious. I always thought he was like one of those guys who like I mean, dude, I've had one of my jokes used on a show on Rogan's show because someone very similar, like they just hear something and they have a crazy comedy mind, and then like a like bit will come out of it, and before you know it, so I think Robin Williams did that a lot. I think without even
Robin
realizing it.
Williams, well, the jokes were important, but Robin Williams' personality and the speed and the way he did it, like I think some of those stuff would only it was like half about him and half about the jokes. You know what I'm saying? He was a little more
Yeah.
split because he was such a crazy character. Did you ever hear that story from the Lawrence brother, Joey Lawrence's brother, the one from Boy Meets World that was in Mrs. Doubtfire? About how he went to like he was the nicest person, but he went to his trailer one time and he's just in there being depressed. And it was all about like he never recovered from dabbling in cocaine. Like cocaine like messed his head up. You know, I mean, well, the guy committed suicide.
White lies make my hair look like fucking Sting when he came back, dude. I don't like it.
Now you look good. Look at mine's thinning out, man. I got to get more protein in. Stress and protein are killing me. They're taking my hair. Now I look like my Uncle Manuel.
Well, that show is called Fatal Vows, by the way.
Fatal Vows.
Yeah.
I don't watch the true crime stuff. You know what's a crime, by the
I
way?
watch him as a cautionary tale, and I watch him because I'm fascinated that dumb people think, or like people get a certain thing in their mind that they think that they can get away with stuff, and I find it fascinating.
Well, speaking of that and a crime, did you see that report that Mick Foley had planned to do a death match as a comeback
Nice segue. Yes, I did. Yeah, he had a whole plan, and
for
he wanted to
AEW?
because he was getting a little heavy, and so he came up with an idea. If I can get one more match, then that will give me motivation to lose weight and get back in shape. And then so he was gonna have one more, but it's gonna be a death match. And then go ahead. You were I filled in
No,
the little blank so you could.
I'm glad he decided because he apparently had a concussion during the initial training. But if AEW had put that
I read
on,
something else though. The thing that you just said, I read that same article, but a month ago or maybe longer, I think the doctor, I think also told him like, fucking no, dude.
yeah,
I think he was like, because I think the concussion,
and he had hip surgery,
I think that he was told like no, like
and his
you're
whole
done.
thing was about how he wanted to do a spot where he did an elbow drop off a TV truck. Dude, that guy needs help. And you know what? I feel bad because lately he's just been looking rough. And DDP had him down for a while, and he's just looking like rough. Like I don't I want Mick Foley to live. I met Mick Foley. He is such a cool, nice dude. But
Yeah. So what do you think of the so he chose MJF. Like if he could pick someone that was gonna be his pick. Because I guess MJF had a whole like 6 week thing already like ready for him. Apparently it was cool.
these people need to retire. I mean, look at Edge hurt himself.
Imagine how much MJF would have worked for that shit, dude. Imagine, dude, he would have done everything, dude.
You know, I'm honestly I,
I'm so glad he didn't do it, dude. It would have been as bad or worse than like the Flair shit.
MGF MJF 2 right now is just not as hot as he was before because they blew it. They blew it by turning him into whatever they did.
Like a
And then
pandering, whatever that was, dude.
nothing makes sense right now in AEW. Let's talk about this. We're going to talk about the Bash Berlin to finish this off. When our time's up here today, we're working on limited time today, folks, on a late show. But Raw was fine. It wasn't great. The best part of it was the Bronson Reed is now like a monster, and the fact that he did that spot on Braun. I love that they're
Ooh,
building
dude,
Bronson
the
Reed.
splash off the brick wall onto the limo.
The Wyatt Six has kind of mellowed for me. I'm like, they need to do something else. I wasn't like that into it this week.
But you know what was dope though? I don't know. The CM Punk was like, but did you know that he was live streaming from under the ring?
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, that was cool.
That was brilliant, dude.
Yeah,
I wish they would do that more. And then because he's like making faces like,
it
and
was
then it
a
was so cool. Then all of a sudden, like he it starts moving and you don't really know what's going on. And then you see the bright lights, and then he just puts the phone on the apron, and it's just like all you see are the lights above and the crowd just going bananas. That was really cool.
yeah. That was a thing, and Punk's great. I love how Tony Khan's like, oh, we're way better. The locker room's way better. WWE doesn't seem to have a problem with CM Punk. Nobody up in
Yeah.
there seems to have a problem.
I don't
Maybe because
know.
they know how to run a locker room.
Most businesses would rather have the locker room have some angst and have hella money and hella fans and be selling a bunch of tickets and not have people turn on you because your product sucks balls. But he's like,
Exactly.
oh man, we're a lot happier in the locker room.
Did you see they sold 50,000 for All In, but last night at Champagne they had 2,000 people in a venue that
Champaign,
holds
Illinois.
in a venue that holds over 16,000.
Oof.
And I don't know what they're gonna do in Texas. I really don't know. They've been trying to build it up, but I'm telling you, from going to that Ring of Honor show, and I know it was Ring of Honor, but those collision shows also had about the same amount of audience, and it's just not good. But I think their show's gotten better, but I AEW was so perplexing yesterday. Uh John Moxley comes out, says a cryptic thing, leaves. Then he ends up with Marina Shafir and they beat up staff people. And I couldn't even like think about it. Then someone's like, Shane McMahon's gonna be the leader. And I'm like, they say they're original and they're about wrestling, and at the same time, they're like stealing WWE Shane McMahon going into WCW, basically, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And with Moxley now being the invasion, Stone Cold, like flipping sides, and Marina Shafir, like you haven't done anything with Marina Shafir in forever. You've had her like being weird on Ring of Honor,
And
and
she
it's
had
like,
that really horrible promo. I never seen a Ring of Honor. I just remember she tried that promo like a long time ago when she was like, "You don't know me, you don't know me," and you could tell she got lost in the weeds, and it was pretty bad. But that Moxley, dude, that was so terrible.
and he's
Like I
getting,
know they're trying to be like, "Oh, he's acting different." It was like, but he's act. I think I wrote you a text, and I was like, "Dude, unless this ends up like they're gonna do a whole angle where he's like relapsed. I don't know. Understand what's happening right now.
I was trying to figure out what that dumb tattoo was on his arm, what it said.
Just bleed.
It's just like he has like a weird. He's starting to get like dumb tattoo. And then so is he not in Blackpool Combat Club or what?
I mean, no one's fucking from England there, dude. So it doesn't even like that whole thing is stupid, and I hope not.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It should be broken up now, right? Isn't Wheeler Yuta like a champion with someone who doesn't even? He's like a bad guy. I don't what.
And then the undisputed Roderick Strong's teaming with Jericho and the Learning Tree, and like the Undisputed Kingdom is like, remember that was like a big deal at one point.
Yeah.
It's like nothing. Oh, and so I watched Ricochet. They make a big deal. Ricochet's coming out, and if I'm
Why?
Ricochet, I'm like, I was at WWE. I had all these great moments. They created the title to utilize them. You can shit on the speed title all you want, but I actually watched that and it's fine. And it's fine. But they're still giving him spots, and then he's gonna go to Champaign, Illinois in front of 2,000 people. And he has his match with Kyle Tucker, and I fell asleep during it.
Kyle Tucker. I love it.
Kyle Tucker. I fell
Kyle
asleep.
Fletcher.
Kyle
Fletcher.
Fletcher. Yeah, Kyle Fletcher. That tells you how
You just
important
changed his
Kyle.
entire fucking nationality, dude.
Yeah. He goes in there and he just has every spot that he always does
Yep.
with Tucker. And that's the problem with the high flying and everything. That's why they used him so sparingly. I think it was strategic. And I'm not saying, but if he's gonna go in there and do all that stuff and do the same moves and everything, like you gotta have some story, have anything, but just to go in there and have I mean, I know they challenged him, but to have that matchup like that and it's flat. Wasn't it flat? It was a flat to
Dude, it
you?
was flat and it was stupid because why would you, dude? You give him a squash match, dude, and then you have him wrestle Fletcher on the little thing coming up. That's it's like, why would you give him a 15-minute banger and then dude, he just showed you everything he's going to show you later on. You know what I mean? Like that was the 15-minute match. We all just saw it happen, dude.
You know what's funny is in WWE he stood out. Over here, you got Leo Rush, which is like a mini version of Ricochet. and then you have all these luchadors and people.
You have like a Mexican version of them, and then you have like an Asian version. Yeah, there's already, yeah.
Yeah, and you have hologram. You have remember that guy? What's
Dude,
the
I
dude?
haven't.
He's still there.
I don't. Yeah, unless I don't watch unless you tell me to watch something on like Rampage or Collision. I give up on that shit a long time ago. A long time
And,
ago.
and then you had Will Ospreay come out. That was actually probably the best part of it. Ospreay comes out, and then Pac reminds him, "Yeah, you still got me," and came out there and did that move. That was kind of a little. I
Yeah,
liked
that's
that.
right. That's right. Pac is teammates with Wheeler Yuta and them.
Yeah,
But then he
he,
just came out to what is Jesus Christ?
that doesn't make any. It doesn't make any sense. Um, and I love I think the conglomeration's like a fun little gimmick thing right for a while, but now they're like taking it seriously, and they have like a real group with them, and it's like, ugh, like I'm like, I just don't understand what they're doing there with that either. And then MJF comes out, gives a speech, and they're
Well, that
setting
was
him up
great
with.
though, dude. He was angry at dude too when he's like, "Oh, I turned my back on this shitty country."
Oh,
You got dude, that was pretty awesome.
that's so funny that he was wearing Lex Luger's basically gear.
Ah, yeah, he's great. I mean, that was like you kind of wish he could do all hour and 45 minutes of the show or hour and 20 with ads.
I didn't think it was not entertaining, but it was just like a really confusing thing. Mariah May came out and looked ridiculously hot when she took off her robe. And uh, for some reason, they're still doing the Monet, Mercedes Monet thing with Okada back there. And it's like, I don't give a shit about Private Party. Like, nobody cares about Private Party. I know they've been
Oh,
with him for,
dude, that was bro. You were missing you were missing this whole thing, dude.
what's that?
That was so goddamn funny. She's like her big party, and it's like, "Ooh, welcome to my." There's like two dudes in that background.
Yeah.
It
It,
looks like, dude, I had a fifth grade party at the roller rink, and it had way more action than that, dude. It was really like they're so amateur. It's just amateur, dude. And it's weird. It's amateur with a budget. So why does it look amateur if you have all that money? That means that you guys aren't paying attention and like
that they don't know what they're doing. I'm hoping that it picks up,
that
and
was so
I am
funny,
rooting. I
dude.
am rooting for AEW, but you're
Oh,
right.
that was so I was losing it, dude, because I'm like they're trying to like she's like, ooh, see, like, but there's no
See,
one there. It looked like the reenactments of these like murder shows I've been watching.
so hey, look, we're on a timetable here today, but I want to see what happened. Which real quick on the finish out AEW. Do you think Shane McMahon's the guy that's going to come out with Moxley? Do you think that's where the angle's going?
Dude, I mean, dude, yeah, yes. Now that you said that, and then because or else it makes no sense. It's just stupid, dude. All of a sudden he just comes back like, I'm a changed man now. You don't own this company. It's like, wait, what? This is not your company. That's what he said.
By the way, so the docu series that Bill Simmons produced on Vince McMahon got a premiere date, which
September,
is
right?
25th.
And so now it's gonna be it's so funny how it took them an extra year to edit because they have to add the last, you know.
And then it was kind of, I think they were going to be like, not, they were going to touch upon it, but it was more about McMahon being a genius. And now they had to talk to the woman that he accused and everything. So we'll see what's
Oh,
up with,
really?
yeah.
Oh,
So
she's in it?
that's what I thought I read. So I'll double check it in a little while. But yeah.
Wowzers.
So real quick, Bash in Berlin. We got 7 minutes here. Bash in Berlin. 5 matches. They're going with a short amount of matches. It's working out. So here's the opening matchup. The Unholy Union, Alba Fire, and Isla Dawn. I always forget how to pronounce Isla and Isla. Um, against Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill for the women's tag team championship. Are you interested at all?
Wait, who's wrestling? The Game of Thrones ladies versus who?
Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill.
Are they gonna make them enemies now? Are they still
I don't
buddies?
I don't know. They haven't really dropped that yet. They might drop it out of nowhere if they lose.
Well then they gotta give it to Jade Cargill on them.
Right.
Unless they're gonna turn them right away. But I mean, you should save that for like a big four.
But you got to remember they're in Berlin, they're in Europe, and the champs are European. They won it in France last time, or no? Where do they win? Yeah, they won it. No, they won it in England, or is it Australia? What they won it in some foreign country. There's foreigners in there in a foreign country, so they might retain.
I don't know. Well, if they do, then they're gonna turn on each other. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill,
All right,
who is not getting better, dude. What? Okay, go ahead.
She looks amazing. She's a spectacle. She's like the Lex
She's
Luger
a
of the women's
she's
division.
a she's like a spectacle. I want to say she looks amazing. It does not do it for me at all, dude.
She's the Lex Luger. CM
Yeah.
Punk and Drew McIntyre in a strap match. Who you got?
Uh, you kind of well, if you give it to Drew, then CM Punk has to win the third one. So I could see them giving it to Drew and then 2-1, but probably CM Punk, right?
Yeah, that because it's only going to build it up further. I think we're going to see them go at it at Survivor Series. No, Hell in a Cell, Bad Blood, right?
Bad Blood, yeah, it's come back. Yeah, yeah. Oh,
That's
that's a
got
perfect Hell in a Cell match, dude. There you go.
per-
You just nailed it.
perfect. Mixed tag match. I wish they'd stop calling them the Terror Twins, Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley
Such a
versus
dumb
Dominic.
name, dude.
Yeah, the Judgment Days, Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan. I hate that name. Are you interested in this at all?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I thought the Rey Mysterio promo was amazing, by the way, when he told him he just was it was really entertaining, made fun of Dom's mustache.
Yes.
Allegedly they want to have a mask versus mustache match.
Jesus. That's great.
We're on borrowed time here. Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens, kind of out of nowhere. Got to keep Cody out there.
Gotta have a match.
Kevin Owens is making him interesting right now again. I mean, he's always interesting, but they're trying to give him a point. Is he going to go back to be the bad guy? Makes sense.
Probably.
Yeah. And the championship, the World Heavyweight Championship, Randy Orton, who is a SmackDown guy, by the way, against Gunther. Obviously, Gunther is going to win this matchup.
You think that'll be the main event? Yeah,
It
right.
is, yeah, it's in Europe.
It is.
It's in Berlin. He's from Austria.
That's the only thing bad about it is I think it's going to be an awesome match, and I think that like I bet you Randy Orton is going to be more fired up than he's been in a while, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, you know he's almost 300 pounds.
Randy Orton?
Dude, he said in an interview he got to 292, and then he stopped because he was like, okay, he wanted to see if he can get to 3, but I think he said the food stuff was like an issue.
How old is Randy Orton? He is 44 years. God. Randy Orton's a year older than me. He's accomplished
That's the
so
biggest he ever
much.
got, dude. 292.
That's crazy.